Okay, y'all, Texas Taterbug. Now I have to admit, I did not anticipate this channel being a video blog or something like that, but I had a question that came up on my personal Facebook feed that I thought I would address to a wider audience. Most of my friends know me as kind of a space geek. You grow up in Texas, where mission control for some of the greatest achievements in American space history, anyway, came out of, and the Johnson Space Center, and where we're developing some of these new technologies, and you get a love for space. Anyway, so I keep up with the launches worldwide. Somebody asked me the other day if I kept up with all the launches, and I was like, well, all the ones I know about that happen from Earth, I haven't found any non-Terran channels that I can keep up with. But anyway, the question that I got was, because I posted something on Facebook about SpaceX having a window for their upcoming Falcon Heavy static fire test. And they asked, well, why would you have a window if you're not actually launching us? And this kind of is an interesting question. You're not sending anything into space, so you'd think you wouldn't need to have a window. But the problem is, you've got a nearly 20-story rocket with 27 space-rated engines on board and tons of fuel, and things don't always go exactly how you'd want them to. And so the idea of having a window is it basically makes sure that you've got range safety in place in case something goes wrong, as Elon Musk says, in case there's a rapid, unplanned disassembly of the spacecraft. And I think that these launch vehicles, when they're testing them, it's important to kind of keep in mind these are active launch areas. So, for instance, SpaceX has not been able to has not been able to static fire their rocket this week yet. They've done some testing on loading fuel and unloading fuel from the rocket. But the problem that they have now is that ULA actually does have an active launch window tomorrow for their Atlas. And so ULA is going to be launching an Atlas, which means SpaceX can't occupy the range safety officers and all of the personnel and all the equipment involved with making sure that everything that's going on around the Canaveral area is safe for a space launch, when ULA is using all of that equipment and all of those personnel for actually launching a spacecraft into space. Therefore, the next static fire attempt, or at least the next window that opens for SpaceX to attempt a static fire, is on Friday. So, tune in. I'm sure there's places you can look, and one of the places that I love to look for space information, particularly for launch information about U.S. launches as well as international launches, is Spaceflight Now. I think they do a really good job with their reporting. And if you feel like it, you can become a member, and that supports their journalists that are doing all the work on the ground of trying to gather the information about upcoming launches and events in the space industry. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little quick one question and one answer, and I'll see you in the next video.